What's going on, guys? The Barber Phil here, back again with another haircut tutorial. And in today's tutorial we will be doing a high fade textured crop top. This is a client that I have had on the channel before, but it's been a while. I've got some new tools, new style of fading, so make sure that you guys stick around from point A to point B, see how the new fade style and the new techniques come into play on this particular hairstyle. So we're going to kick things off by really saturating the hair using a mixture of water and the Ruzel hair tonic. It's supposed to help with sectioning as well as a little bit of heat protection, so you can kind of go straight into blow dry styling. And it's also supposed to help as far as when you shear cut the top and stuff. What I'm doing here is I'm using the wide tooth side of my comb. I'm figuring out where that hair wants to fall down towards the side and where it wants to stay forward. That part line there that wants to fall down, we're going to take that down, take the top part up. Same thing on the other side. Use the wide tooth side of your comb, figure out where that hair wants to part, comb down the parts that want to fall down towards the side, and then everything else needs to go towards the top. Hopefully your client's hair will be fairly symmetrical and those parts will really come out generally in the same area. Now, if the hair were a little bit longer, you could do block graduation. With the hair being a little bit shorter here, but we're still wanting to leave weight at the same time, what we're going to do is clipper over comb. And I tried getting a decent little angle here so you guys could see the approach that I use when I'm doing the clipper over comb technique. I like to use the Oster flat top comb. It is a little bit wider. It's a more sturdy plastic than the Andes one. And I am starting below where I want that weight line to be. Once I get up to that point, I am scooping the top of that comb back outward, and that's going to over direct that hair so that we're not taking it too short. And then we're going to try to fade that same weight line all the way around, traveling from the back and then over to the opposite side. If done correctly, clipper over comb can give you the same look as block graduation can. You just have to make sure that you are not taking it too short and you're not keeping that flat top comb too flush to the head, because that is what will remove too much weight. But if you do it right, you angle the top of that comb out, you can get a nice weight line there, and we can get right into fading up into it. So in the last couple fading videos, we've been using the detachable blades to really remove that bulk. What I've done here is I've started with a 3-guard closed using the StyleCraft Ergos, which if you guys have not seen my review on those or tried them out yourself, I highly suggest you do it. I think they are probably they're next up, if they're not already there, for best clippers with a lever. Just their custom ability as far as the different color casings that you can put them on. They've got several different blades now that you can use. You can do the click system on the lever, you can take the click system off. Some of the newer ones now, you can get a stretch bracket that's going to allow you to open the lever up more. So there's a lot of different options with this clipper. It's very quiet, it cuts very clean, very efficient, so I highly suggest you try the Ergos out. So after doing that initial closed 3-guard up into the weight that we left by doing clipper over comb initially, then we can come in, tap our detailers through here, setting in our bald line, and then I immediately flip the trimmer over, flick that line out so we can use a closed Ergo to effortlessly remove that bald line. Now what we're doing is we have a half open 1.5 guard, and like we've been doing lately, and I've got a lot of feedback from you guys. There's a lot of you guys enjoy it, say that it's worked for you. I have had some people hit me up, tell me it's just not the way to do it, and that's perfectly fine. I completely understand if it doesn't work for you. It has worked for me and it's worked for other people, so I'm going to continue to work on with it and try to perfect it as best I can. So we're going about halfway to 3/4 of the way up through the initial 3-guard section. Now what we're going to do, we're going to open the lever all the way up, take the guard off. We're going to do about an inch wide open section here. We're going to close the lever up about halfway, go about halfway up into the fully open section here, and then when you close the lever all the way up, that should take out that detailer line, especially if you take a few seconds at the beginning there and flick that line out. What's left is taking the half guard, half open, and connecting the open section up into that half open 1.5 section that we just did a second ago. The only problem was in this particular hairstyle or hair texture, hair color, I'm not really sure. It was darker than what I would have liked it to have been, so we came in right after this half guard step, and we're going to use a 2-guard, and we're going to flick up into the initial 3-guard that we did, and from there we can go ahead and remove all the bulk at the bottom using our FX trimmers. So here's that 2-guard. Like I mentioned, we're just kind of flicking up into that initial 3-guard section, and it does lighten up a little bit to where we're comfortable to go ahead and move on for now. I'm going to use the FXs, remove all this at the bottom. He does work on a farm, so he definitely wanted this fade to be up higher. He wanted the sides extremely short. He wears a hat quite a bit. It's starting to get hot here in Kentucky, and so these shorter hairstyles are definitely starting to make their rounds back through the barber shop. So the first step we're going to do here in the back is start with that 3-guard closed and just flick up into the initial weight that we set in with clipper over comb. I'm going to follow that up by doing the 1.5-guard half open, flicking up into the 3-guard closed that we just did here. From there, you guys will figure out what works best for you. You can do the 3-guard first, you can tap in the line and then kind of meet the bald line up into the 3-guard. You can do the 3-guard, 1.5, half guard, then do your bald line. You can completely work your way down. However it best works for you guys. You won't necessarily see me always do the exact same steps every single time. It is the same method, it just may not be in the exact same order. I'm always trying to figure out if there is a more efficient or effective way to get a nice end result. So we did the 1.5 half open, then we tapped in our bald line here. We're going to immediately flick it out. Now I'm going to use the open section with the Ergos, make that about a full 1 inch. Then you can close that lever up halfway and go about halfway to 3/4 of the way up through the open section here, and then once you close that lever all the way up, you should immediately be able to flick out that bottom trimmer line, and from there it's just connecting the open section up into that 1.5 that we did a minute ago by using the half open, half guard. So I don't know if it was the shape of the head on the right side that caused me to struggle a little bit when it got to that half guard section, but I didn't necessarily feel the need in the back to come in with the 2-guard and do the work that I did on the right side. So that's just a correction that either I personally made on the fly there, or just the shape and the contour of the head corrected itself for me. Just wanted to give a huge thank you and a huge shout out to all you guys watching the channel, all of you guys that have subscribed. We did hit 2K this morning, and it doesn't look like we're stopping anytime soon. Like I said, my goal for the rest of the year is to get to 5K, so I hope you guys can stick around with me and help me get to that point. So after we finished with the sides, I resaturated the hair, combed everything back forward again, and then we're going to start in the middle, and we're going to blunt cut initially because he does want it pretty much all the way down to finger length. He wants it just long enough to be able to kind of spike, and then I'll add texture to it at the very end. What I like to do is start in the middle and then pull towards the left side of my client's head, and most of the time I will stand on their right. That's just how it is most comfortable for me. I am fairly short, so you can see him kind of tilting his head, trying to help me out a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll go towards the front, make sure that we have the bangs the way we want them to, and then we'll work from front to back, pulling from the previous section to make sure everything is consistent. What you're wanting to do is make sure as well that the top matches up and falls down nicely into the initial weight that you set in with that clipper over comb technique, or if you end up doing block graduation, you just want to make sure that the top blends down into that correctly. And then what I'm doing here is just kind of coming back through, cross-checking, making sure that everything is nice and even. And like I said, we will come in here in a second. I'll use my 13T blending shears to add the texture that we did not add from the beginning here because we blunt cut straight through. So these are a 13T blending shear instead of your typical 40T. What this is basically a cheater version of shears that mimics point cutting. Because there are so few teeth, it does take a little bit bigger chunk out. So I took that comb through there, hit just the very tips. It's going to add a little bit of texture, a little bit of unevenness, and I'm adding some sea salt spray here. I'm going to use the diffuser on my Dyson, and we're going to work that in a circular motion, really bringing out the texture, and it's going to go ahead and dry the hair out so that when we do apply our matte product, it gives it the most hold and the least amount of shine that a matte product can get. So for his hair, and actually personally in my hair, until Toom can come back out with the indestructible clay, the product that works best for me, at least if I do the steps of using the diffuser, is the level 3 matte paste. If I diffuse my hair first, put the product in it, and then diffuse it one more time, it's got a very nice hold to it. It's not the most hold, it's not the indestructible clay that Toom had out, but we have yet to really find an exact mimic of that one. So until then, you know, we're just making do with what we have. And then another product that I'm trying out, this is a matte spray by Ruzel. You're supposed to basically spray it in your hands, rub it into your hands really well, and then apply it to a finished product in a matte finish as well, and it just gives it a little bit more hold. Alright guys, here is the before. Make sure that you guys let me know in that comment section what you thought about this haircut, if you've used the half attack system yet, and what your thoughts are on it. Make sure you like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Please consider subscribing if you're new. We just hit 2K, and for that I am very grateful and very happy. As I mentioned, my goal for the end of the year is 5K, so if you are watching these videos and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, help me out, turn on that notification bell, that way you never miss another video from me. I've been putting out content every Sunday and every Wednesday since I started back in July. It's a grind for sure, so help me out by hitting that subscribe button and interacting with me in that likes and comment section. I'm the Barber, guys. Y'all know I appreciate you. I'll catch you in the next one.